Yo, listen up, Rue is stepping up the game, where fantasy Premier League runs in his veins. From transfers to captains, he's always on top, guiding you through every game week non-stop. They say Rue got that Salah flow. Welcome to the channel, enjoy the show. Wild cards, free hits with so much vibe. If you're hunting for success, then make sure you subscribe.
Good day, mate. Welcome back to the channel. I'm FPL Roo and welcome back to another FPL video. So in today's video is going to be the ultimate guide for game week 24 and probably beyond, but it's basically the main things you need to know going into game week 24. First of all, I just wanted to say if you can subscribe to the channel, it'll be very, very helpful. It's completely free and it really does help me out. And also smash a like on this video. I'm trying to hit 50 likes for this one. So yeah, as many likes as possible would be great. First of all, I just wanted to talk about the teams that are doubling in game week 25. So it has been confirmed Liverpool and Luton will now double alongside Manchester City and Brentford. We'll go through the teams. So first off, Man City, I've included game week 24 fixture and game week 26 fixture because it's very, very crucial because some of the teams that are doubling in 25 will be blanking in game week 26. So Manchester City have Everton at home in game week 24. So really, really good fixture. Then a double game week of Chelsea at home and Brentford away. So 3 home games in 2 game weeks is very, very nice for the best team in the world at the moment. I won't say at the moment, but obviously last season they won the Champions League and they won the World Cup this season. So I guess you could say at the moment. And then they do have Bournemouth away in game week 26. Liverpool, Burnley at home, and then they've got Brentford away and Luton at home. However, Liverpool, although they're doubling in game week 25, they are blanking in game week 26. So that is something to bear in mind. Brentford, Wolves away in game week 24. Then in game week 25, they have Liverpool at home, Man City away. So really, really tough double for Brentford. And then they also have West Ham away in game week 26. So yeah, not the best. They've got, I guess, 3 away games in 3 game weeks, which is not ideal. And they play Liverpool and Man City, probably the best 2 teams in the league, obviously barring Arsenal. But Brentford, yeah, we'll go through it a bit later, but we'll talk about them in more detail. Luton have a really nice game this game week. So they've got Sheffield United away. Then they've got a double game week of Man United at home, Liverpool away, which I'd say is slightly better than Brentford's double game week. But obviously, I don't think Luton are, I guess, as good or as established as Brentford in terms of FPL options. I know they've been doing really well recently. Got a great draw at St James's Park on the weekend, 4-4. But yeah, they do blank like Liverpool in game week 26. First of all, we'll talk about Man City though. So I think it's hard to not say that 3 Man City players are essential coming up from game week 24 because Everton at home is a really nice fixture for them. They've just conceded a couple goals against Spurs. Yeah, I'd say they kept a couple clean sheets before that, but they're actually, I think, up there for clean sheets, Everton. But you got to fancy Man City at home. And so for me, I would say 3 Man City players is ideal, but it's so hard to pick who that would be. To be honest with you, a lot of people are talking about maybe going for a Walker or Ake or Ederson for a defensive cover. But again, you don't know who's going to start. We've seen Walker play every single minute and then get put on the bench in game week 22. We've seen Ake rotate with Gvardiol, with Diaz, with Akanji. That defense is very, I guess, unstable. The only one that was there was Walker, and he did get benched in game week 22. Obviously, that might not have been for tactical reasons or even for, I guess, fitness related reasons. It could have been for some personal problems that he has been having recently. So I guess we'll wait and hear some more news from Pep Guardiola on that front. So other than that, I think Haaland is probably essential going into game week 24 because of that double in 25. So it's really, for me, one of Haaland's guarantee. And then out of the midfield, I'd probably say one of Foden or De Bruyne. If you can afford De Bruyne, I think he is a better option than Foden. And I think he does play the same amount of minutes as him. But obviously, I think De Bruyne is a better option on set pieces, etc., etc. And then defense, I think you are struggling. So I can see why a lot of people might be going into that game week with only 2 Man City options, as if you're bringing the Man City option and only play once in a double game week, then it kind of defeats the purpose of bringing them in. However, they do play in game week 26, so you're not losing any games by doing that. So that is probably the key thing. But for me, I'd probably say Haaland and one of De Bruyne and Foden are essential, and then it's up to you whether you want to go for someone that does cover the defense like Ederson, Ake, etc. Liverpool is a tough one with Liverpool, as they do have a very good fixture in 24 and then a double game week. However, they do blank in 26, so there is I guess, a feeling that unless the player is nailed, you're just getting the same amount of games as other people. For example, obviously everyone has a game in 24, everyone has a game in 25, apart from these 4 teams listed on the screen. And if the player that you pick only plays one of them games, and they're just like everybody else, and then they're blanking in game week 26. So really, over the next 3, Liverpool and Luton play the same amount of games as everyone, but obviously they have that in a double game week, which is, I guess, a greater chance of getting points and then maybe taking them out ahead of game week 26. For me, I would say 2 Liverpool players are probably essential because of the fact that it is a very, very good double game week. I think Brentford have been conceding a lot of goals recently, and I think Luton, albeit they've actually done pretty well over the last couple of game weeks, have scored 8 goals. I do think that they concede goals, and especially at Anfield, I can see it being a tricky night for Luton. I would probably say, I'd say Jota, Gakpo or Nunes, one of them is essential. I'd probably say Jota or Nunes is essential. I'm probably going to go for Jota, but we'll talk about that later on in the video. And then I'd say a defensive option is probably essential as well. Whether that's Trent now, we don't know. He came off early in the Arsenal game. He missed the Chelsea game in game week 22. Klopp did come out and say that he was, I guess, struggling with his injury a little bit, or he couldn't play a full 90 minutes yet. So Trent is not as, I guess, nailed and not as secured as a FPL option as it seems because of that injury. But I think he should be all right by game week 25. Whether Klopp does risk him for 2 game weeks in a short period of time, and especially around or before the Carabao Cup final, it could, you could see Conor Bradley coming in if he does come back into the team. Obviously, he's off because his father did pass away. Whether he comes back into the team and kind of challenges Trent for that spot. But I do think Trent should play most games in that. However, Van Dijk could be a really nice option. A lot of people are looking at Trent, maybe even Robertson now. But I think how good Gomez has done over the past few game weeks, probably about 10 game weeks. I know Simicast came in for a couple of game weeks while Robertson was injured. But yeah, Gomez has played very, very well at left back. Obviously, he doesn't give that attacking threat, and I think it's a running sort of commentary fact that he hasn't scored a goal for Liverpool yet. I'm pretty sure that is. I'm not 100%, but I'm pretty sure that was the fact. So maybe Van Dijk is the better option, and then probably the more secure option if you are looking for a Liverpool defender. Other than that, if Salah's back, then to be honest, if Salah's back, that is going to shake things up a little bit. I just can't see him playing both games, even if he is back by that time point, because they're in such short space of time. They're right before the cup final. I think if he is fit for that game week, he'll probably play one game and then play in the Carabao Cup final. Brentford, a real nice chance to, I guess, go for a differential, as not a lot of people will be bringing them in, even if they've got a double game week and they don't blank in 26. I think because of how bad their fixtures are in that double game week and how bad they are around that as well. They've just played Spurs. They've playing Man City, or they played Man City in game week 23. Yeah, they've had terrible fixtures, and it carries on even after that 27-28. They've got some tough fixtures there. However, they do play in game week 29. They're guaranteed to play. So ideally, you probably say they are a good FPL option because they double in 25, they play in 26, and they play in 29. So argument's sake, I'd probably say Ivan Toney is probably the only player I'd go for Brentford. There are arguments that Pinnock could be an option, but I just can't see them keeping clean sheets. And I think Ivan Toney is the only one I'd probably go for. However, there are a lot of good forward options at the moment. Ollie Watkins has just smashed it. Solanke's been doing well recently. Haaland's come back into the frame now. Alvarez has been pretty good for owners over the last few weeks, which I guess now Haaland's back might not be so good. Who else you've got up there? If you wanted to go for Gakpo or Darwin Núñez because of the doubles, there is a potential chance for that there. So for me, I just think that there's a lot of good strikers there at the moment, and it just might not be the right fit for Tony. However, if you do bring him in, he is a massive differential. You're going to basically keep him until at least game week 29 because he doubles in 25, plays in 26, and plays in 29. So he can be a really nice option, and he's delivered owners so far. He's got a few goals, got an assist, he's got some decent scores. So I think Ivan Toney can be a really nice differential. Luton players, I guess they've kind of gone under the radar recently, where they've actually been getting some decent results. They got a draw at St James's Park last time out. They've got Sheffield United away next, Man United at home, Liverpool away. However, they do blank in 26, which is a bit of a tough one, because I guess you're going to have two Liverpool players. You potentially could have Spurs and Chelsea players who will blank in game week 26 too. So it will be tough to fit in Luton players that you're going to probably have to take out a week later, and the double game week doesn't really scream points to me for Luton. Man United at home, I guess, is not as bad as Liverpool or Man City, but then they do go to Anfield. So Sheffield United away does soften that blow a little bit. So if you did want to go for someone, maybe someone that you need to bring in to maybe get Haaland back or get some of these big guns back, then potentially someone like Adebayo or Carlton Morris up front. But defensively, I probably just wouldn't go there as of yet. We'll move on with the rest of the video, where I do talk about how my team's looking, what we're going to find out before the game week 24 deadline, which I think is going to be crucial information. And I will talk about some early transfers that I'm looking to make. So before we talk about my team and how it will line up for game week 24, I just wanted to talk about some of the key, I guess, information we're going to get before the game week 24 deadline. So we'll find all of this out before the game week 24 deadline. Potentially could find more, but this is the guarantees that we should find out. So Villa v Chelsea in the FA Cup 4th round replay will be on Wednesday evening. So if Chelsea lose, so if Villa knock out Chelsea, Chelsea's game against Arsenal in game week 29 won't be a blank. So Chelsea and Arsenal will both play that fixture if Chelsea get knocked out of the FA Cup to Aston Villa. If Aston Villa lose, so if Chelsea win that FA Cup game, then their game, Aston Villa's game against West Ham in game week 29 won't be a blank. So basically, whoever loses that FA Cup game, their game will be going ahead in game week 29. This is because West Ham and Arsenal, the opponents in that game week for Chelsea and for Aston Villa, respectively, have already been knocked out the FA Cup. So this is why this is a potential of a team not blanking. Personally, I think I'd rather Villa lose because I have Moreno and Ollie Watkins. I know a lot of people have Arsenal assets and have Chelsea assets, whereas me, I've actually got I've got 2 Villa assets, and I've got Areola in goal, but my goalkeeper situation is absolutely fine because I've got Raya as well. So I'm going to have a goalkeeper playing in that game week, but we'll talk about that later on anyway. Another thing that we should find out is if Bournemouth v Luton goes into game week 28. So Bournemouth, if that does happen, this is not guaranteed, by the way, but we potentially could have the information that whether this game does go into game week 28. So Bournemouth would play Sheffield United and Luton at home, which is incredible. Double game week, 2 newly promoted sides. Solanke is going to be a big captain option for that game week if it does happen. And then Luton will play Crystal Palace away and Bournemouth away. So again, even a good double game week for Luton. This could change everything if it does get announced before game week 24, even before game week 25. I can see a lot of people loading up on Luton assets because they will have that double game week in 28 and in 25. So I can definitely see that happening. And this might kind of sway people to maybe keep Solanke in their teams, maybe keep a few of the Bournemouth options. But yeah, we don't know if this is guaranteed. The second one, the top one, we will find out whether Villa or Chelsea will blank in game week. Well, we'll find out if they will play in game week 29. They have another round to go to find out if they'll definitely blank or not. But for me, I'd probably just rather Villa play because I have more Villa options, and I think a lot of people do have a lot of Arsenal options. and a lot of Chelsea options, I think it will probably benefit me a little bit more. But the Bournemouth v Luton game, I would absolutely love that to be scheduled in sooner than 28. But 28 does sound good for me because I do have Senesi, I do have Dom Solanke that are both brought in on a wild card because I knew Bournemouth were going to double at some point. But yeah, we'll move on to how my team looks, and then we'll talk a little bit more about I guess how it would look in game week 29 if Villa or Chelsea did get knocked out. So now we'll just chat about how my team is going to line up for game week 24. So some early kind of team selection talk. So I think I'd probably go for David Raya. West Ham and Arsenal do play each other. So Areola and Raya both play each other. And normally I'd probably go for the home team, but with West Ham shipping 3 goals to Man United and Man United keeping a clean sheet, I think I'll play David Raya, and Arsenal, yeah, should be on a bit of form after just beating Liverpool. Trent is in the starting 11 for now. So Burnley at home, which is a very, very good fixture for him, but I'm just not sure that he will be guaranteed to play. I know that there is a bit of a time between, well, it's a normal time between game weeks 23 and 24, but I'm still worried about his injury, whether he'll come off early, whether Conor Bradley will be back and potentially mean that Trent does get a bit of extra time to recover from injury. So that one's a bit of a wait and see. We've also decided to start Pedro Porro, so with Brighton at home. I know Brighton are, I guess, look pretty good attacking wise, and Spurs have been shipping goals like anything. But I think Porro's attacking threat and Spurs being at home, I think it will be a little bit stupid of me not to start him. It will be a tough one, don't get me wrong, especially after his performances recently in terms of FPL. He hasn't really been, I guess, delivering any clean sheets and a bit short on the attacking returns. But yeah, for now, he is in my team. I've also decided to start Senesi. So Estupinan has Spurs away, and I can definitely see Spurs scoring. And to be honest, Estupinan has been, I guess, dropped in the last game. He did come on 15 minutes to block my Moreno points, which we'll talk about that later in a video later on in the week. But yeah, Senesi did. It does come into the starting 11 for me. I think with Fulham away, I think that is a good fixture for him, albeit I don't see a clean sheet, but I think Fulham can concede a few goals to Bournemouth in that fixture. There is an argument to say play Moreno with Man United at home, and especially after his 14-point haul, he's got a goal, he got a clean sheet, got bonus. I think I am going to regret not playing Moreno, especially with how good Villa are at home, albeit they did lose last time out at home, but I think Man United have started to pick up a bit of form and they are scoring a few goals. They scored 7 goals in the last 2 games. So that's the reason I haven't gone for Moreno. So midfield, Saka got a goal last time out. A lot of people are talking about Saka as gone off the boil, but I think he is a season keeper. I can't see myself taking him out unless it's for a double game week player at some point. Cole Palmer stays in the team, albeit but Chelsea are terrible at the moment. A terrible season, to be honest. Just got thrashed by Wolves and got thrashed by Liverpool. But Cole Palmer still getting. I'm on the score sheet. Got a goal against Wolves, and for me, he is staying in the team until at least game week 26. 25, 26. Phil Foden as well. Everton at home, I think, is a good fixture for him. I'm a little bit worried about his minutes now that De Bruyne is back, Haaland's back, which means Alvarez can potentially play number 10 and even out wide. But yeah, I think I've got to start him with that home fixture against Everton. Anthony Gordon is flagged. He did come off in the game against Luton on the weekend, and he was seen in a protective boot on crutches. So it doesn't really look good for him, and it's a bit annoying as I've just brought him into my team. And he's got Forest away, which is a really, really nice fixture. But I do have Garnacho on the bench, albeit Villa away, which I think is a very tough game for Man United. But they have been looking a lot better recently, Man United. And obviously Garnacho got a 16-pointer, and he was sitting on my bench last game week. But again, we'll talk about that in another video later on in the week. Up front, Ollie Watkins, fresh off his absolute haul on the weekend, 18-pointer. Man United at home, again, I think that's a good fixture for him. Yes, Man United have looked okay recently. Clean sheet against West Ham. Then they've got had a good result against Wolves in last minute 4-3. But I do think Ollie Watkins can do it against anyone, and I think he's on fire at the moment. Playing at Villa Park, I can see a Villa winning that one. Solanke as well, good fixture, Fulham away. I can definitely see him getting on the score sheet. Disappointing for him not to get on the score sheet against Forest last time out. But I think Fulham are a very good fixture for Bournemouth. And then Haaland, obviously captain Everton at home. We'll be interested to see if he does start this game week, whether he can, I guess, put in a couple starts in a row now. For me, I just have to start him if I own him, and I have to captain him unless we do get some information that Pep says that he will be, his minutes be managed and he will be rested in this game week. Next up, we will talk about my transfers. Obviously, it is early in the game week still, but these are what I'm thinking. So I only have one free transfer and I've only got 1 million in the bank. So to be able to get Jota for Burnley at home and then a double game week of Brentford away and Luton at home, I'll have to basically make up a bit of money. So I'll have to go Estupinan or Pedro Porro to I guess a cheaper defender. There's no other player that I really want to take out at the minute in order to make up that money to go from Gordon to Jota. I did decide to go for Estupinan just because he's not guaranteed minutes. I know Porro's, albeit Spurs are, I guess Spurs are conceding a lot of goals and he blanks in game week 26. I just think Estupinan is can't be trusted at the minute. He's got taken off at half time and then he's been benched. So yeah, for me, that is not a player I want in my team. I can afford someone that's 4.2 million, but I've decided to go for Bell from Luton, who has obviously the double game week and he has Sheffield United at home. I probably wouldn't play him in this game week just because I don't think it has that much attacking threat, but I think he is a nice option to have on the bench and to play in a double game week. Yeah, there are other options, maybe a Harry Maguire, but I think at this point I might as well just go for a double game week player and just play the upside, as I do really want to get Jota in. If there is news that Salah is potentially back for game week 24, then I might have to rethink Jota, but I think Jota has a good chance of starting all across the front three, so I'm not too stressed on that one. I think he can play left, middle and right. But that is what I'm thinking for my transfers. Let me know what you think in the comment section below and let me know what transfers you're thinking to make. And yeah, please smash a like and subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell, as we are trying to hit 2,000 subscribers before the end of the season. And good luck for the game week.